front and center. Hi, everyone. How you? I'm trying to work on the lighting here. Hi, friendlies. How are ya? That didn't work. I know the light over me is really annoying. So, hi, y'all there? Look. Say look. Look. Oh, say look at that right there. Look at right there. Right there. Right there. Are you guys seeing me yet? I don't think you guys are seeing me yet. Hello? Are you there? You're here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Richard Thomas. Hi, Spoken TC and Julie. Hey, Ralph. First, I want to start the light, man. How's that? Is that better or is that worse? That's spooky. That's kind of spooky. Oh, what happened? Okay, that's better. Okay, hi everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you to the moderators. Hi, Gypsy Carol and Richard Thomas and Ralph. The moderators are awesome. So last time, YouTube has a new feature that allows me to turn on commenting. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Is everything good? Thank you, Rick. I done my hair today. I'm plugged in, so I had electricity. So you can hear me okay? All right. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, there's a new feature on YouTube, it's fairly new, that allows me to, hold on, this looks crooked. Okay, that allows me to only allow subscribers to comment, and it also allows me to set up how long they have to be subscribers before they can comment. I've been pretty lenient about that. I think 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and we had some issues last time. So this time, I'm sorry, but unless you have been a subscriber for more than 24 hours, you will not be able to comment on today's live stream. So check your notifications right now. Okay, do me a favor. Ever since I have been talking about this, I can't believe how many of you have told me, oh my gosh, I was unsubscribed and didn't even know it. So do me a favor right now and check your subscriptions. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Okay. Yeah, destination happiness, right? It's really nice, huh? So hopefully, moderators, you're awesome, you rock, and I know that you enjoy, what do we call it? Troll whacking? Whack-a-mole, whack-a-troll. I think Ralph named it whack-a-troll. I know you get some satisfaction from that, but it also distracts you and you don't get to enjoy the live stream with everybody else. So hopefully this will help alleviate some of the issues that we can have sometimes. So hi, Nancy. It's nice to see you as well. Hi, Misty from Indiana. Nancy Schultz says it's freezing. Hi, Maximalist Minibus. So it's freezing here too. I am very, very south. I'm just going to say that. I don't think I want to tell you what state I'm in yet, but I am in the desert and I'm south. That kind of narrows it down. And I've been in a campground for several days. I've had more issues. I've just had more issues. Maybe we can talk about that. I don't know. Well, my water pump died. I had a leak and my water pump died. So I have no water pump. So if I want water, I have to get gallons of water and that doesn't last. So I just went and plugged into a campground because as long as I have city water hooked up, it bypasses the water pump because of the pressure. So it's also getting down to 12 degrees here tonight. So another good reason to be plugged in. So yeah, it's pretty cold here. So hi, Lost to Adventure. Sally, yeah, the roof issues. I had the roof issue. Well, I had the refrigerator door and then the first leak in the roof and then I fixed that and then the second leak in the roof and then I fixed that and it still leaks. So I had to do more repairs on the roof. Some things that you guys haven't seen yet. My basement door got stuck. The latch broke, so I couldn't open my basement door, which is where my generator and my leveling blocks are. So I had to pry that open and break the latch. So now it's held down by a bungee cord. And then a few days later, after I finally got it open, my basement flooded from my outdoor shower, and my water pump died. So I've had a run of bad luck. But what do you want to say hi? Do you see everybody? Look at this beautiful face. What are you doing? Say hi, friendlies. Do you see her? Say hi. Okay, yeah, sit up with me. Why don't you come sit up? Okay. Oh yes. So yeah, it's good that I'm in an RV park. Yeah, there is a lot going wrong, huh, Mary? This is the way anybody who's been following me for a while, this is my life. It's like stuff just doesn't ever seem to be spread out. When I was hanging out with Bob and I had Matilda and things would go wrong and I'd be like, why does the universe hate me? I swear. And he's like, no. And I'm like, I just have bad luck. And he's like, no. And then after a few months of hanging out with me, he was like, there might be something. You do have really bad luck. And I try not to go down that path, but I will Stuart, bad luck. Hi, Rat Vector. Good to see you. I don't know. You guys watch other YouTubers, other RV YouTubers? Am I the only one that just has problem after problem after problem after problem after problem, or is this pretty much par for the course for RV life? It's been par for the course. As I say, it's been par for the course for my RV life, but frankly, with this new rig, I've had a pretty uneventful 4 years, and it makes sense. Things are going to start falling apart now, so it's just the way it goes. So am I going to buy a new RV? No. Do you buy a new house when your refrigerator dies? Do you buy a new house when your roof breaks? I don't know. Do people seem to think I'm made of money and I can just go out and spend $100,000 on a new RV? And also the fact that this part of my life is about less waste and less consumerism. So I would rather repair the things that I can. And I've also said many times that this is the RV I'm going to retire in. I want this RV to last until I buy land. I'll live in it until I build my tiny house. So no. And no offense to the person who just asked me, but I'm kind of sick of the you need to buy a new RV. You should buy a new RV. Why don't you buy a new RV? Are you going to buy a new RV? No. Okay. Let's put that to rest. No. So, yeah, when it rains and it pours, huh, Donna? That's for sure. And Mary Dean, people have told me that I have bad luck too. Yeah. Nancy, you're at the casino and talk about bad luck. The only machine I hit tonight was the ATM. So I used to live just a couple hours from Reno, Nevada, in California. The Bay Area is just a few hours away, and in the beginning, it was kind of fun to go play slots or even blackjack or craps or something like that. But then after a while, we'd go just to get out of town, and people would ask me, "Do you gamble?" And I'd be like, "No. You know what? My money lasts longer if I just throw it out the window on the way up." That was my joke. Yeah. So no, I'm not much of a gambler anymore. Every once in a while, if I'm in Las Vegas or in, Pahrump or whatever, I might go into, when Capone died, I was sad. And I just took $20 and just went in the casino and sat down at a slot machine and played a slot machine. So, how you like my cup? My Vermont mug from Richard. Yes, Richard and I got to meet when I was up in Vermont, and it was a lovely time. I got to meet his mom and his friend, and we had a lovely lunch, and he brought me some nice presents, including the stickers you see, Keep It Simple Vermont, and this mug, which I still love my travel mug in the morning because I spend my mornings outside with Sadie. So I love that super insulated one that I got in Minnesota. So I still love that, but this is my nighttime ginger tea tonight with some lemon. Lori Thompson, super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. So what I'm going to do tonight is answer questions when I actually planned ahead. I'm really relaxed. I've been in this campground for 4 or 5 days because I had been traveling again a little bit, and I'm really relaxed. You know, I just put up that short video yesterday. I'm writing again, and Sadie and I are going out for walks, even though it was only like in the 30s yesterday. So I actually planned this live stream. So I asked for questions earlier for me to answer tonight. It'll be a Q&A. I'm going to answer everything that you guys asked, from questions about Sadie to questions about some of my favorite places that I've traveled, to do I have any regrets about my RV life or YouTube. So I've got a lot of questions I'm going to answer for you today. And let's do this. If you have any questions for me, do all capitals question, and then your question, so that I can easily find it in the chat as I'm talking. So I'll go back and forth. I'll answer the questions that people sent to me earlier, and I'll answer your questions live now. Just do all capitals question and then your question. Another way to get my attention is what you're seeing now. At the bottom of your screen, there's a $sign. So if you've ever wanted to invest in my channel, you know, to leave a tip or however you want to look at it, to let me know that you, besides the thank yous and the wonderful comments and the moral support, and I've said a million times, it's the moral support that keeps me going. You know, the financial support helps keep me in batteries and cameras and editing software and all the things that go into keeping this channel and my salary, you know, but it's the moral support that has helped keep me doing this, that just as much. So if you want and you're able, you can also do super chat. And as you can see on the screen, I want a van life. Thank you so much. She says Sadie and I are an inspiration. You can do the super chat, you can do a sticker, you can send me a note, and you can send me a question that way, and it just stands out. You can see how it stands out on the screen. So it's almost what was I going to say? It's easier to see. So ginger tea. You know, I have been doing ginger juice for a little while now. In my NutriBullet, I just grind up ginger, maybe some turmeric and some lemon and water, and I do ginger shots. Ginger tea is kind of new to me, but I have this cute little teapot, and so I started grating up ginger, and because I have issues with inflammation, and I just like it. Ginger's like one of my new favorite flavors. So yeah, a little bit of lemon in it. It's yummy. All right. Oh, Dave O'Garf is here. Hi, Dave O'Garf. It's good to see you. And Evelyn, I got to tell you, you're strong and determined individual. The issues seem to invigorate you. You know, when I was 21, I was 21, and I think I've told you guys before that I lived in a rehab for a year, that I got sober. I was in rehab before I was old enough to drink. And I'll get to your questions in a minute in the super chats. And I actually got kicked out. I was in a year-long residential treatment program in Albany, New York, and I ended up getting kicked out because I broke a rule, and a pretty big rule. And if you want to know about that, you'll have to read my memoir, which hopefully will be coming up. I'm writing. And the executive director pulled me in his office after I got kicked out, and I was seeing another guy who also got kicked out, and he said, "You're not going to stay sober if you stay with him. You're not going to stay sober." And I think just to spite him, I stayed sober for 7 years. I did end up drinking again eventually, but the whole time I was with this guy that I was with when the executive director told me I was going to drink. The whole time I was with him, I stayed sober. And so I think a lot of times challenges do invigorate me. And it's almost like, no, I'm not going to let you take me down. I just will not let you take me down. So I think there's some truth in that for sure. April's excellent adventure. Thank you for the super chat. What editing software do I recommend for a beginner? So I'm using Power Director. And I think it's easy enough. I don't even remember what I used first. You know what I would use first? Whatever's on your computer. Most computers come with editing software. I think that's what I did. I think both Windows and Apple come with video editing software. That's what it was. So I used whatever came with my Windows until I outgrew it. And that's what happens. You learn how to edit, you learn the basics, and then you want more functionality, you want fancier things, and so then you can upgrade and move up. But I do use Power Director, and they have a version, there's an app on the phone. I discovered Power Director because it's what I used on the Pacific Crest Trail, because I was still making videos while I hiked. And I can't remember, it's pretty cheap. You pay a quarterly fee, and it's a good way also to learn, because the one on your phone has less functionality, it has fewer bells and whistles. So if you want one that maybe you can grow into, but it's still easy enough to use as a beginner, I really like my Cyberlink Power Director. I've gone through several different editing software. This one I think is the most intuitive, it's the most user friendly, it has the fewest bugs in it, and it's got, you know, fun things that you can do. And here's a tip: while you're learning, if there's anything that you want to do and you don't know how to do it, you can Google it and you'll find a YouTube video on how to do it. That's how I self-taught myself editing. All right. Sadie's nose is in the way. Hi, she's sleeping on my lap. It's actually getting warm in here. I didn't think I would get warm. All right, I know I missed a super chat, so hold up. Katie did 1975. Thank you for the super chat. And Bill, thank you for the super chat toward the water pump. Fingers crossed I don't have to replace the water pump. I'm waiting on a switch. I'm hoping this is spoiler for upcoming videos. I'm hoping it's just the switch. I know I could have tested it, but I'd rather not test it and like wait for the switch and just hope that it's the switch. I'm weird when it comes to challenges. Sometimes I just want to bury my head in the sand. All right. Okay, yes, Dawn. The boy, you guys have a lot of questions. I feel like I'm missing a lot of you. Okay. So let me get to your questions. Hi, Breaded Circus. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. So Lindsay wants to know what in the last year, what place is high on my list to buy property. I still don't necessarily. So, okay, I'm going to be honest with you here. I have some concerns around privacy with buying property and being public about where I want to buy property and where I might end up. The single biggest mistake I made is using my real name for this YouTube thing. And I have real concerns about my privacy. I have real concerns about my safety. You know, I mean, my videos are on a delay partly. Can you guys still hear me? I lost my chat on my phone. Hi, can you guys still hear me? Can you still see me? There you are. Okay. So I think you can understand. I'm not going to answer that question. To make a long story short, I do have some areas in mind. Does that make sense? What I realize is that once I'm tied to a piece of property, it'll be not so hard to find me. And because I'm looking for a very remote property, yeah, I'm even thinking about changing my name, to be honest with you. I've always wanted to change my name anyway. I'm still, yeah, anyway. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back so I don't miss questions. Leslie wants to know if I'll ever return to New Zealand. So there are no plans for international travel as long as I have Sadie. I can't leave Sadie. I can't. And honestly, I loved New Zealand. So I'm not the type of person to go back and do the same thing twice. If I were to travel internationally, I'd want to go someplace I'd never been. Even though I love New Zealand and it was beautiful and I'd like to do a deeper dive on some places that I visited, I would rather go someplace new. That's just who I am. All right. Um, the Oh my gosh, you guys with the questions. Okay, hold on. So my rig is Midwest Mama wants to know how long my RV is. It's 24 feet. Julie, I know you're vegan and this is different, but can you give me advice about eating gluten-free? I'm also gluten-free for the most part. I'm eating more gluten these days, but for a long time I was gluten-free because I thought it was causing migraines. So, I don't know what advice I can give you other than just to look for gluten-free products and gluten-free cookbooks. And there's so much you can do now. I use a lot of almond flour. I use a lot of buckwheat flour and oat flour if you like to bake things. And yeah. Did I find the leak on the roof? I think you're going to have to watch videos for that. That's coming up Sunday night. Do I exploring nature? Do you have fun fixing your home? Not really. What is your favorite state? Cindy wants to know what's my favorite state. California and Alaska. And actually, I have a question. Yeah, similar question somebody asked me earlier, but I think California and Alaska. All right. So you guys, I've answered a lot of your questions. Okay, I'm a new member. Look at you guys joining. You can also join my channel. Michael Zorro, thank you for joining my channel. April, thank you for joining. So there's also a button below if you want to become a channel member. That's $4.99 a month. It's a great way to support my channel. Thank you. You guys are like on a roll tonight. Hi, Kevin from Boston. Loretta, changing my name is a great idea. Yeah, I've been wanting to change it for a long time anyway. Hi, Northern New York State. Thomas, hi, I know your name. And I was loving Michigan a lot, but now that I'm back west, so yeah, as far as states that I loved. Okay, I have that question. Let me get back to that in a minute. Okay, let me answer a question from earlier. And if I didn't get to your question, you can always ask it again. And I'll do my best, though, to get to a lot of questions tonight. Sometimes it's really slow and I don't get a lot of questions. All right. The first question from the audience, Lori Markel, or Lori M. So a lot of these are from patrons. She's a patron. Would you ever consider a 20-year-old RV with low miles? I saw one that was well taken care of with only 33,000 miles, a lot of new stuff, but the age and the length puts up flags for me with length restrictions. So I wanted to cover this because I think a lot of you are thinking about buying a rig and you might have similar questions. So, oh, Michael, that's why your name is familiar. You emailed me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And go Bears. Bully sticks for Sadie. No, they are not cheap. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, do you guys know who've been with me a while? What are my thoughts on buying a 20-year-old RV? Matilda was a 20-year-old at least, maybe 30, maybe 130. Matilda was an old RV. And my experience has taught me that vehicles need to be driven. Otherwise, things seize up, things rust. So I'm not a big fan of old vehicles with low mileage. Yeah, it looks like it's been taken care of because it's never been used. And maybe they did take it out I don't even know if taking it out once a year would be enough. Here's what I would say. If you find something that's 20 years old and it looks good, you don't see any water damage, take it to a mechanic. Absolutely do not bypass. There's nothing wrong with an older vehicle as long as it was maintained, as long as it was driven, if it's in good shape. But you need to go to a mechanic so that the mechanic can look at it and tell you. As far as the length of an RV, you the longer it is, the more restricted you're going to be about where you can go as far as national parks mostly and boondocking. If you want to go to the places like I go places there's no way a longer RV could ever go. As far as national parks, there are some national parks that have 30-foot length limits. And a lot of those are east of the Mississippi just because they're windy and there's a lot of trees and the spots are really small. So yeah, look, it is true that the longer your RV, the more restricted you're going to be about where you can go. And that's boondocking as well as national parks. Okay, did that answer your question? So again, if you have a question, put all caps question before your question to make it easier for me to see. Question from Steve the Ford guy. Hey, Steve the Ford guy. I'm curious how many miles your Ford has. It seems to have been a good rig overall. So yeah, knock on wood, 118,000 miles on it. 118,000 miles. So that's one thing. I was updating my website this week, and one of the things that I realized is I've driven probably over 120, 130,000 miles in the 6 years that I've been on the road. This year alone, starting in Nevada and going to Maine and back, I've driven, in 9 months, I drove 20,000 miles. So knock on wood, the Ford chassis part of this rig has been really good. I've replaced a fuel pump, fuel filter a couple times. What else have I had? Issues with tires, but that's not the Ford's fault. What else? The fuel pump is the biggest thing. Transmission flush, maintenance. So yeah, this rig, it's a 2004 E450, and it's been great. It really has. I mean, this has been a good rig. One of you, I don't know if you're here, said to me recently in comments, oh yeah, I forgot. Every time you drive, it's like your house is going through an earthquake. And that's absolutely true. I drive on freeways. I drive on county roads that are a mess. I mean, so stuff is going to start breaking. 4 years I've been living in this full time. RVs aren't meant to be lived in. So I keep telling myself this is par for the course. Don't get, all upset and whiny about it. It's just, this is kind of what I signed up for. How many of you remember me always saying life isn't supposed to be easy? Fuck that woman. Who said that? I want easy life. I'm kind of over the challenges. All right, am I missing anybody? Breaded Circus, thank you for the super chat. Debbie Merrill, thank you for the super chat. You got your calendar and you got your waggle and you used the discount code. Awesome. So we're going to be coming up with some more discounts for you guys on waggle for Thanksgiving. Off-road Carolyn. Yes, you should see some of the muddy roads I was on recently. And in case you guys don't know, if you haven't, watched every video, shame on you, you should. But I recently upgraded my tires to all-terrain tires, KO2s in the back and Michelin's, Michelin's in the front. I was on some muddy road the other day. I would have been stuck. A couple times I would have been stuck without a doubt, and my tires got me out. It was sketchy there for a minute, like your foot's on the gas and you're not really moving, and then you're sliding sideways. It was clay mud. It was bad. All right. I know I talk fast. I'll slow down. Let me take a breath. Remember to put question. I will answer this. How can I afford the gas to travel so much? I don't have rent. Easy. I make less than I made living in the Bay Area, and I have, more money to travel with. So imagine what you could do with your life if you didn't have rent or mortgage. Oh, Sadie's lump. So I will answer that because I started to earlier. Did you guys see the video about her going to the vet? So the vet said, I think you guys probably know, the vet said that he thought it was scar tissue. He did the needle thing, not what's that called? Not a biopsy, cytology, the cellology or whatever, and he didn't see any cancer cells. So he said he thought it was a so he said he thought it was a scar tissue, like she got a bump or something or a cut. And he said, let's keep an eye on it. It should be shrinking. Let's look, if it's not, come back in 6 or 8 weeks. It's gone. It's already gone. It's completely gone. Oh wait. I feel it's like the size of a pea now. It used to be like the size of a Brazil nut. Yeah, I know. I'm touching you. Why don't you say hi, people? Say hi. So yes, thank goodness I was a mess. A viewer pointed it out and I inspected. So it makes sense now that a viewer noticed it before I did, because it could have happened that day. She could have ran into something that day and it just swelled over, over the few hours that she hit something. And then you guys noticed it, and I looked at it, and no, it wasn't a bite. It was internal. It was under her skin. And yeah. All right. So is everything okay? Thank you, Ralph, for helping Breaded Circus. Yes, that is really good news about Sadie. And we got a compliment today. And it just made me so happy. We're in a campground, and she's supposed to be on leash, but she's so well trained that I'll walk her. The area that I'm in is like the far side of the campground, and there's open space. And then if I walk that way, it's all campground. So I'll let her run around. She's not used to being on leash, and I'll let her run around. And then we start getting toward people, I'll leash her up. And she was out in the field running, and I called her, and she came just like that. No hesitation. She came just like that. And she had something in her foot. She had a prickly thing in her foot. So I took that out of her foot, and then she started to wander ahead of me. And I said, wait. And she waited. She just stopped and waited. And I put her leash on her, and I said, sit, and gave her a treat. And I didn't even notice this guy over there. And he was standing there, and he was like, wow, that was impressive. And I'm like, well, thank you. We've worked really hard. And he's like, I have 3 dogs. I recognize how hard you worked and how much effort you put into her. He was like, that's really impressive. And I was like, well, thank you. So it's kind of, flattering and rewarding to be recognized for all the work that we have done together. So yeah. All right. How y'all doing? Evelyn, I binged watched you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let me answer another question from earlier. Aussie Jane. After such an epic traveling season, will I travel again next summer or concentrate more on other pursuits like writing? Great question. I'm done for a while. I think I just want to stay. I have found an area that I like, and I'm really thinking I'm just going to stay here through the summer, explore the state. And there's a lot of good boondocking here, and there's enough elevation that I can go higher in elevation for the hot weather. So I think I am not going to travel this year. I had originally thought, well, like a few weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I haven't been to California in a while. I haven't been back to the Bay Area. I haven't seen my little sister, the young lady that I mentor. We keep in touch by phone, but I haven't seen her in a couple of years. I haven't seen my therapist face to face in a couple of years. We do phone appointments. I have some friends in the Bay Area I would love to see. So I was thinking, you know what? I'll go to the Bay Area this year, and I'll travel the Pacific Northwest. I'll do the coast. I'll go up to Washington. But now I'm like, no, I need to just settle. And I really do want to get my memoir written. I really want to get that done. I purchased a workshop on how to get published, how to find an agent. So I've been diving into that a little bit. I've gotten my whole story written out. So now I'm working on the second draft or the first draft, and getting hopefully something that I can submit to an agent. And I do want to work on that. And so I think this year is going to be different for me as far as videos. And I'm kind of also burnt out on shooting, to be honest with you. I'm feeling like I mostly just want to do like the teaching how-to videos. I'm kind of burnt out on the travel videos. So I have been traveling non-stop for 6 years. Like I said, 120, 130,000 miles. The longest I've ever stayed was 2 summers ago, in Leadville, Colorado. I stayed in Leadville for like 2 months. Was it 2 months? I think it was. And just going into supply every now and then. So other than that, I've been pretty much traveling. So I'm a little burnout. I'm kind of done. Hi, Arlene. I know, right? And Bay Area drivers are off the hook. That's it. I don't wanna. I don't want to deal with the traffic. I don't want to deal with the crowds. I don't want to deal with the people, and I don't want to deal with, it's a lot for me. Even the last couple times I went back, I get sensory overload a lot easier now because I'm not around that kind of hustle and bustle. So 458 people watching. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, how many thumbs ups do we have? Did everybody give me a thumbs up? Thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, I'll take a question from you guys again. So Ralph wants to know, how about dog training videos? I've done such a good job with Sadie. I could, but I learned everything from watching other people. Zach, what's his name? Zach George. It was really the main one. Well, but I've always been interested in dog training. The first dog I had when I was married was a Rottweiler, Chow, who, when we first decided to adopt him, he kind of fell in our lap. He was a rescue. He was living in a car. Long story. When the option came to keep him forever, I was like, he's a Rottweiler. We need to, meaning I, need to invest in training him and blah, blah, blah. So back then it was Cesar Millan. I watched every Cesar Millan. I got books about dog training. You guys know me, and I've said this a million times, and my friend always says, I don't do anything half-assed. When I decide to do something, I go for it. And owning a dog, having a doggy baby was one of those things. And so I've always been interested in training the dogs to be happy and healthy members of society who aren't going to hurt people and who are good additions to my life. So it's been a years-long process of just learning from other people, basically. And yeah, Cesar Millan actually kind of got what's the word I'm looking for, not blacklisted but discredited. There's videos online. He's got that macho alpha approach that has been discredited. There's actually studies that have been done since him that say that the whole alpha thing in dog and wolf mentality or wolf dynamics isn't true. That used to be the going philosophy of dog training, that you have to be the alpha. You have to be in charge and you have to show the dog who's boss. That's been debunked. And that's what Cesar Millan is all about, being the alpha. And there are actually videos showing him staring down a pit bull, doing the whole alpha thing, and then the pit bull turning around and biting him. So, yeah, that's what happened to Cesar Millan. All right. Sideshows. So Anna Cronin, I lived at 19th and Broadway when I was in college. And I remember laying in bed hearing gunshots at night, 19th and Broadway in Oakland. All right, let me get back to questions from the earlier. Sally S, another patron, wants to know if I missed the cold and snow this week, and am I planning a big trip for this year? So I missed most of the cold, sorta. I don't know, 30s and 40s here. I guess so. Teens at night. And I think I already answered about the trip for this year. I'm not really planning anything at this moment. Hi, Jinx. Hi, hey, Carolyn. Hi, John C. Good to see you. So it's going to take me 6 years before I don't want to travel. Kevin Van Buren. I don't know. Maybe. Some people burn out before that. You know, I know a couple people who went on the road and traveled a bunch of miles the first year and got off the road the first or second year. So I guess it depends. All right, questions from you guys. Let me see what questions. Prima wants to know how I'm feeling physically. Well, not good. As a matter of fact, struggling with fatigue again. I'm struggling with some shortness of breath again. I have been so I tried to get a COVID test because I thought maybe I was having COVID symptoms, and I couldn't get one. They all the places in town were like a week out from getting a test. So I just what's the word I'm looking for? Took myself away. What's that called? That word where you go off by yourself. Quarantine. I quarantined myself for a while, and but I'm still having symptoms. I've had them for a while, but they feel like allergies. So I might just have allergies, but the shortness of breath and the fatigue is back for sure. But it seems more manageable than it used to. I'm working on my adrenal support, which I take every day. I've increased that. My diet hasn't been very good. I've been craving a lot of sugar, and the sugar made me feel like crap. So I weaned myself off the sugar. I did a sugar detox, and now I'm trying to get more protein back in my diet. So I'm working on it. And but thank you for asking. And Mary says traveling and constantly filming is hard work. Yeah. And dealing with a hyper puppy, and I think I've mentioned I have to spend a couple hours a day with her. We go out in the morning, we spend an hour and a half outside. I let her out, I come in, I make coffee, we go back out again, I play fetch with her, I play frisbee with her, and then we go for a walk, and then we come in and she takes a nap, and then she has to go out again in a couple hours. We spend a couple hours a day together, just trying to keep her healthy and happy and mellow so that I can get work done or whatever. So yeah. Cindy says COVID, same as me. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I got COVID again. The places that I travel, people don't wear masks oftentimes. Although I'm seeing more than I was in the beginning. Like in Wyoming last year, I'd go and I'd see 2 masks. Now it's like probably 70-80% of the people, no matter where I go, are pretty much wearing masks. So that's good. Sorry, you guys, 1 second. Are the mods going to get that? Thank you. You got it, Richard. I wanted to make sure I didn't delete the wrong person. Sorry, but no, that just doesn't go. That just doesn't go here. Oh, actually, Gypsy Carol got it. Actually, ban. Can you ban? Block? Okay. Timing out. Okay, you can timing out for now. Nancy wants to know if I'm coming to Michigan. Can you guys answer her, please? All right. Randy Arstein wants to know, if I decide to become stationary and have a home base, how do I envision myself and my brand within the nomadic community? So I don't know. I don't know. I think that I wouldn't be in the nomad. I don't consider myself in the nomadic community. Somebody asked me that recently about community, and I'm like, I don't commune. I don't commune. My understanding, thank you, Ninja Boo Kitty. And I can't tell. You did a good job, Carol. Thank you. Um, I was just in Michigan like 3 months ago, like for a month, 6 weeks I spent in Michigan. Um, I want a life. I don't commune either, right? I mean, I just don't commune. Okay, what was I talking about? My life. So, what I've heard from many of you, so that's definitely a consideration. My livelihood right now depends upon me being a full-time RVer. And so, yeah, contrary to the belief of some dumbasses, I don't just sit here and talk and get paid for doing nothing. I get paid for making videos about my travels and about my RV life, you know. So I'm not going to sit here and hold a sign, please send me money. I'm not giving you value and content anymore. I think that what would happen is there are a lot of videos online about homesteading, and I think a lot of people who follow me, my fan base would shrink. Long story short, my viewership would shrink for sure. So that's definitely something I have to consider. What I'm thinking now is going to happen, at least I hope will happen, is my book career, my career as an author, will replace part of the income that I will lose from the next phase of my life. I think that I'd like to keep making videos about my process of buying land, how I buy land, where not where. We'll see how that goes. And building a house, building a tiny house. And I don't think I'm going to stop traveling completely. I think what I'm looking at right now is a part-time home base, and I think I'm still going to end up traveling. So there's still going to be RV life stuff, but I think all that stuff is going to be figured out. That's how I roll. I figure things out as I go, and we'll figure it out from there. So Texas lady, so glad you got your calendar. Thank you so much. And yes, exactly. A Swifty, I can continue to do videos as I homestead. I think so. And I had this thought the other day. The fact that I'm no longer on the road again, should it come to that, doesn't erase the 6 years of experience I have. But what it would do is give me more time to create videos about RV life. I could still teach everything I learned 6 years on the road. I can still do how-to videos, which are more popular usually anyway than the travel videos. So it just might mean changing things up a little bit, but I still have 6 years of experience living on the road that I can share and help people with. So I think that's what I would do. All right, so at least Ninja Boo Kitty and Spoken TC won't be here anymore once I buy land. That's good to know. Thank you. All right. All right. Let me go back to another question. Kate Munoz, I think it is, says she gets worried about her puppy and coyotes. Are there any tricks that you know to see when it's safe to let the dog run and play off leash? So here's how I do it in general. Coyotes, most wild animals hunt at dawn and dusk. It doesn't mean that they're not out in the middle of the day. They are, but I try to avoid, she's never off leash. Like, I'm never letting her run around without me being able to see her if it's starting to get dark outside. Never. If it's that time of day, never. Other than that, and this is something I struggle with my audience with a lot, I really believe, at least in theory, that the statement that if you love something, you have to set it free. In my mind, and this is just me, you can disagree, people do all the time. In my mind, watching her, leashing her up, chaining her up, not letting her live her best doggy life, hunting and chasing and exploring, to me, that's not love. To me, that is my, to me, this is, you can disagree, but to me, that's a selfish act. My selfish act of needing to keep her so that nothing happens to her, so that I don't get hurt. I would rather let her be free. So, what I'm saying is that letting your dog off leash, even with a good recall, and her recall isn't great when she's chasing. We've had some really good moments, but it's not perfect. It's a risk. Whenever you decide to let your dog play off leash, it's a risk. That's, and you have to ask yourself, are you willing to take that risk for the freedom of your dog, knowing that it could cause you great pain in losing your dog? And that's how I see it. And Sylvia, thank you. Sylvia says she'll follow me. Life is about transition. Yes, Gypsy, I agree. I'm going to have more people that are going to hang out with me, and also maybe attract a new audience, a homesteading audience. So I'm not worried about it. I always land on my feet, no matter what it is. Oh, yes, Mary. Absolutely. I would still be here even if you settle down, especially for dog training and political commentary. That's another thing. See, no, my friend Christy reminds me of this all the time when I talk about like what I have to be realistic. The day is going to come that I'm not going to be able to make a living on YouTube anymore. You guys will get sick of me eventually. It's bound to happen, or at least most of you will. Things will start dwindling, and I'm already kind of starting to see it. I'm not as popular as I was in the beginning because it's a lot more crowded than it was when I first started. I was really the only woman like me doing it. Now there's a million women, solo women, making videos, and so there's a lot more competition. So I'm already seeing my numbers. I'm not growing as fast as I used to, and things like that. So it's a reality that I'm not going to be able to make a living at this forever. And I've talked to my friends about it. What am I going to do next? What will I do next? And my friend Christy said, you have to face the fact that no matter what you do from here on out, you're going to be in the public eye. Whether you write a book or whether you do a different channel, no matter what you do, you're going to be in the public eye. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think you're right. So yes, that is another thing I've thought about. Maybe I'll pick up the As I See It and do the political commentary. The thing is, once I'm not spending so many hours traveling, my creativity can go off in a million different directions. And I know enough of you enjoy my company and enjoy what I do, that I think even if I started a couple new channels, I'd be able to piece something together. Like I said, I always land on my feet. I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years now. I have been making a living on my own merits, by doing things my own way. And I'm never, ever going to be able to work for anybody ever again. So I'll figure it out. All right. Was I selling myself short? Thank you. I appreciate that, Evelyn. But I don't think I was selling myself short. Was I selling myself short? I know a lot of people miss. JJ says he loves my or she, I'm sorry, I don't know, loves my As I See It. I would love to be able to. I have thoughts about. Oh, I've got so many ideas. This is my entrepreneurial brain. It constantly works. And I have a million ideas. I just don't have the time and the energy to execute all of my ideas. So, all right. My history. Oh, I love history and I love politics. So thank you. Debbie votes for me for president. Oh, I couldn't handle it. The games and the manipulation. No. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that very much, Richard. All right, Stuart's got a question. If you go to the Sticks and Bricks, you gonna go to town and get your 40 gallons of water? It's my bad joke. Oh, I am actually. Yes, I will. I will. Yeah, probably. I'm gonna get one of those big plastic water containers. I don't know. All right. All right. Sadie's wondering why I'm talking so much and so loud. Okay, let me get back to another question. Remember, if you guys have a question, do all capitals question. And if I didn't answer your question, feel free to write it again. You can copy and paste it. Kim asks a really good question. Is my valley fever completely healed? And how common is it in the desert in the Southwest? So, Kim, great question. Yes, my valley fever is all healed, and so is Sadie's. We both tested clear last year at the end of our treatment. And if you'll remember, Sadie did the Western Med hardcore antiviral, fungal, the antifungal, the one that's really hard on your liver. I figured she was young enough. I went with the natural path remedy, and we both got healed. So I'm glad that I went with the natural remedy from my naturopath doctor. She's an actual doctor of natural medicine. And yes, we both cleared. We're both healed from it. So there was some confusion about it for me because I know some other people, some other dogs who had it. So there was some confusion about whether it returns. So it doesn't return on its own. It's not like the fungus lives in your body and stays dormant like a cancer and then can come up again. Once you're cleared, you're cleared. However, in theory, if you go back to the desert where valley fever, where that fungus is in the sand, you could pick it up again. But when this question came across my desk earlier, I did some research, and they said usually once you get it, you won't get it again, that your immune system will have built up immunity against it and you wouldn't get it again. I don't think I would trust that for myself because I still have a little bit of a compromised immune system because my white blood cell count's low. But for Sadie, I think that she would probably be fine. But I'm going to keep an eye out for symptoms as long as we're in the desert. And if she shows any symptoms, we'll go back. So how common is it? It's becoming more and more common with global warming. Global warming is causing a spike in valley fever in Arizona, Southern California, and I think New Mexico. So I would do some research about what the symptoms are so that if you're going to be in any of those areas, you can watch out. Usually it's like cough in your dog, fatigue, shortness of breath, I think. And I knew I had it before I knew she had it because I had already had shortness of breath, but it got way worse. And I was like, oh, I felt like a fluttering in my chest. And so I went and got tested and I had it. And then I took her because I figured I must have gotten it from her, bringing in all that dirty sand with the fungus in it. And sure enough, she had it. And I didn't really see any symptoms in her. I caught it early enough that she wasn't really showing symptoms. A little shortness of breath, little fatigue. Maybe once she coughed, but we caught it early. So we were lucky. I guess we're lucky that I got it first, that I was able to find it in her super early. Lori, thank you for the super chat. I hope that means you heard the answer to your question. Thank you for asking it. And Spoken TC, buying property is different from buying a house. You're one of the few channels I still watch. Don't count me out yet. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. The wind is my furnace. Do you hear that? That's my, yeah. Oh, is it really that loud? Is it really that loud? I can turn it off. See, really? It's really picking up that loud? Okay, I'll turn it off. It's okay. Well, Sadie and I will freeze. Oh, hi. Hi. I love you so much. Say hi to the friendlies while I turn off the furnace. All right. Oh, it's okay. It's not that loud. Okay. Well, it's on pretty high. I'm actually pretty warm, so I just turned it down, but it'll take a minute to go off. There is no I don't think there's an immunization. No, there is not yet. I did some research on it last year, though, and the studies are pretty fascinating about how it's getting worse and worse, and I think they might be trying to find an immunization for it. So do some research is what I recommend. All right. Donna's like, I can hear you fine. Don't freeze. It's not that bad. Okay, don't turn it off. It sounds like surf. It sounds like a downpour. All right. Let me see. Did you guys have any questions? Let me see if I can find questions from you. Sandra is very interested in the search for land. I will still be here. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought it would actually be really fun when I get to that point to take you guys on the journey of finding land. I've been doing a little research, and I have run against some surprises that I think it'd be really interesting and fascinating to share with you. So I'll take you along on that process. Questions, questions, questions? All right. Well, okay, I'm not seeing any questions from you guys. Question. I'm looking for all capital question. And I'm not seeing any. So if I missed, I'm going way back now. So if I missed your question, wow, please ask it again. Legal puppy, am I still in Arkansas? No. No. I loved Arkansas a lot, but I was sick of the moisture. I was just sick of I was really just sick of the condensation. And when it gets cold at night, my windows would freeze shut. And every time I wanted to drive, I had to wipe off the insides of my windows. And I was just really sick of all the moisture. So, no. Ralph, what's my favorite color? I don't really have a favorite color. Tree. Tree is my favorite color. Dirt. Dirt brown is my favorite color. Hi, Linda. Yay, it's good to see you. Sharon, question. Will you consider taking us along the journey if you purchase land and building a tiny house? Yes. Good question, Ralph. Did I get any mold with all the moisture? Not that I know of. So there are a lot of people, man. Oh my gosh, the emails and the comments about you need to get rid of your rig. You've got black mold, blah, blah. So I did some research, and I posted that research on the community tab and on Facebook that there are millions, okay, thousands. There are thousands of different types of molds, and some of them are even black. But and there is no scientific like toxic mold, black mold thing. So the chances that I have toxic black mold are minuscule. But do I have mold? Probably. And I want to thank the guy, I don't remember your name, on Facebook when I posted that study. He said, I have been a contractor all my life for 20 years. I'm exaggerating again. He's like, I was a contractor for 20 years. No matter how new or how old the house was that I worked on, when we tore down walls, there was mold. There is mold in every house. So the people who are worried about me and worried that I might have mold, I would suggest going and tearing down your bathroom wall because I guarantee you've got mold too. So I'm not seeing any mold. You know, there's discoloration around the areas that were wet, but they've always been like that. And I think it's just discoloration from the moisture, from the wet. I'm not seeing signs of mold. I'm not seeing spores. I'm not seeing fuzzy That doesn't mean that it's not inside the wall, but I would think with the moisture that I had, if there's mold inside the wall, it's eventually going to show up outside the wall, and I'm just not seeing it. So thank you, Ralph, for that question, because I wanted to address that. Yeah. Cynthia, I'm thinking about joining Patreon. How different is the content when you are a Patreon member? Thank you for the question, Cynthia. And I did see it earlier and I didn't get back to it. So thanks for asking again. So Patreon gets additional content. You can ask, I don't know, well, Ralph, who else is here? So you get extra content. One of the things that I do that was actually Ralph's suggestion a couple years ago was I post the links to the public videos on Patreon on Thursdays and Sunday nights so that we can all comment about the videos there on a smaller platform. And one of the things that I love about Patreon is because it's such a small community, it's only 200 some as opposed to 134,000, okay, maybe 1,000 comments on each video. I get to see all the patron comments in one place. So it has allowed me to get to know my patrons on a much more personal level than I get to know most of my viewers. That's not to say that I don't get to know my viewers. Richard, I knew Richard, and I think you were a patron by the time we met, but I knew Richard. I mean, Richard was like somebody like I knew. Yeah, I know you. Carol is somebody that I know. Carol's also wonderful. I've met her face to face, and she's also a moderator of the Facebook group. Who else do I know? I know Uncle Mo. Actually, we've done a Zoom call together. So I know Uncle Mo. I know Sylvia. I know Leslie. I know Ninja Boo. I know Ann Cronin. I mean, Phil Guzman. I know, actually, we've camped together. So it doesn't mean that I don't get to know my non-patron viewers. I do. It's just harder and it takes you longer. You have to comment a lot. I get complaints sometimes. It's like, I comment on every video and you never respond. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I get 1,000 comments a week. So that's one of the benefits of Patreon, that if you want community, not just getting to know me and me getting to know you, but if you want to get to know other like-minded people, other wonderful friendlies, you get that. So not only have I built friendships with patrons, they have built friendships with each other, which is just, I think, really awesome. I know Ralph has camped with like Melissa and, so friendships have been formed. The other thing is there are 700 videos on Patreon. Okay, no, maybe 400 because part of those are probably public videos. I don't know. There are hundreds of videos on Patreon that the public has never seen. Hundreds. Bloopers, outtakes, real talk, bad days, good days, real time in my camp, goals and dreams. I mean, I share, it depending on the level. At the insider level, I feel like I know most of the patrons at that level, that I do share more openly. I share more in real time. So yeah, you get content. You don't get full length 20-minute videos usually. Sometimes you do, but you get things that the public doesn't see. You get more of me personally. You get more of my travels. You get to help me decide what videos to make. I ask for your opinion on logo design and website design. So you really are partners in this channel with me. Did that answer your question? Did that sell you? So, yeah. Yeah, Phil. Hey. Oh, you're Phil here. I like your other one better, Phil. All right. Gypsy. She blew a kiss to Phil. Or was that to me? I thought that was cute. All right. Hola. Destino Caravana. I'm a new friendly from Spain. Hola and bienvenidos. I think it's the same in Spain. Yeah, bienvenidos. Yeah. Spain. I'm sorry, I'm getting giddy. Thanks for all you do. You're an inspiration. Can you give us some advice for new RVers in Europe? And have you ever been to Spain? I have not, and I would love to go to Spain. I have been to Europe. I've been to 7 countries in Europe, but not Spain. And there are some European RVers on YouTube. You might want to check them out. I can't give you any advice because I've never been there. I know it's more challenging because you guys don't have the open space that we do. We're really fortunate in the fact that we have so much public land. And I know that a lot of other countries don't have what we have. Even my time in New Zealand, I spent 3.5 weeks, I think, in New Zealand, and I caravanned around in a van. And they've got some free camping, but it's not like what we have here. It's basically free campgrounds. So my suggestion would be to try to find someone who actually is in Europe doing it. And I know there are some. Actually, can you guys help her? I bet you guys know some. I don't know any. Ninja Boo Kitty, thank you. Thumbs up, everybody. Subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, please. So I did not know Robert Witham is a publisher. A publisher of what? Okay, interesting information. Thank you for sharing. All right. I know the Indie Project. I actually subscribe to them. And I do have PayPal. If you go to any video on my channel, there's a link in the video description if you would rather just do PayPal. Thank you. Good question. Prima de Moro. How do I keep myself healthy with politics, keeping informed but not affected? I've had to turn it off. I used to love Rachel Maddow, and I watched her religiously, and I can't anymore. I've got almost political burnout since the new president came into office, and I'm much more selective. I probably only watch maybe a half hour of news a day. It's kind of like that's my dinner time thing. Maybe that's giving up my age a lot, right? 6:00 news, Walter Cronkite. And I still kind of have that habit of when I'm cooking dinner, I like to listen to some news, but I really do it in much smaller snippets now. Yeah, I'm burnt out on it. I really am. It's just too much. It's too much. Although I'm on Twitter. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Twitter's my playground. If you want real talk, real trucker mouth Carolyn. No offense to truckers. There are truckers who probably don't swear like I do. But if you want all my real opinions about politics and such, go check me out on, I think it's Carolyn's _RV life. There's a link to Twitter on the header of my YouTube channel. So you guys can go there. All right. Yeah, I know, Ralph. Canadian protest politics right now. Trucker protests are getting me down. Was it Canada? I heard a snippet tonight with the Confederate flags. Was that in Canada? Oh my gosh, you're like kidding me. All right, let me go back to questions from earlier. Joanne, of all the places that I've traveled, do I have a favorite area? So, yes, and I touched on this a little bit earlier, and I kind of skimmed over it earlier. Yeah, Wisconsin Southern Belle, you nailed it. Absolutely burned us all out and exhausted us. Okay, the places that I love the most. California, I still have to say, Yosemite, the Eastern Sierras, I backpacked the John Muir Trail. I mean, just gorgeous. And the Tahoe area and Northern California and Mount Whitney, not Mount Whitney, Mount Shasta area. California is, and the coast, California is still one of my favorite. The San Francisco Bay Area, beautiful. I love it. It'll always be home to me, I think, in some way. But California still has some very magical, beautiful places that are very special to me. Alaska. I mean, who doesn't love Alaska? I thought about, I might even look for land, and I don't know. I loved Alaska. And actually, I said earlier that I don't go to the same place twice, that if I'm going to do a big trip, I'd rather go someplace new. I actually thought that I might go to Alaska this year. Part of me was like, oh, why don't I just go to Alaska again this year? Like, what am I doing? Just relax. So Alaska, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, absolutely caught me off guard with how much I loved how remote and beautiful and friendly it is. And if it wasn't for the humidity and the bugs, I would seriously consider buying land there, and the harsh winters. One thing this year has taught me, and that's part of the reason I wanted to do this trip, is to test myself. I don't have the high tolerance for the summer heat and humidity or the bugs. It's no fun. I live in an RV so that I can spend time outside. I don't want to be cooped up in my tiny 180 square foot home. I live this way because I like to be outside. And when the mosquitoes are biting and you can't walk through the woods because the ticks are so bad, although most places are like that now with ticks, but mostly the mosquitoes, the biting flies, the humidity, I can't. And recently in my travels, I've been in some winter weather. I've had some snow, a couple inches. I don't mind. That's okay. And I don't mind. This has really helped me this year, going out of my usual routine and not going to Arizona and not going to Nevada and experiencing winter weather has really helped me decide where I want to land. I'm okay with nights into the teens, maybe even the single digits. I'm okay with that. Days in the teens? Nope. I'm okay at 20, 24 degrees. If it's 21, 22 degrees in the morning, fine. I put on 3 layers. I put on a hat. I put on my gloves. I go outside. I play with Sadie, and I'm fine. But that's the morning. If it doesn't get higher than 30, that's a little too much for me. So it's a little too cold. So I love Michigan. There are so many places I loved east of the Mississippi, Vermont, New Hampshire. New Hampshire and Arkansas. I was actually thinking I might go spend the fall in Arkansas again. I loved Arkansas. I can't believe how much I loved so much boondocking. Arkansas has more public land. I couldn't believe it. It was awesome. And that's going to come up in a video. And then internationally, my favorite place, I think so far, I think has been Greece. But that might also just be because I loved New Zealand. Oh yeah, New Zealand too. But Greece, I did a road trip in the Peloponnese and the Mani Peninsula, and there was remote and there were mountains. So while I loved New Zealand, I'm really more of a mountain person than a beach what's the word, a rainforest type person. And New Zealand was very populated, very popular in a lot of the places that I went to. Greece had some really nice, more remote villages. Of course, I was there off season. I was there at Christmas, but yeah, so those are my favorite places so far. Sandra, I came up to get away from the heat, but yet we have bugs till mid-August. The bugs, man, they were awful. And I remember, I think it was the UP. We had a beautiful spot, and Sadie couldn't even go outside. They swarmed her so bad, she was miserable. And so she didn't even want to be outside. So that's a deal breaker for me. Good night, I want a van life. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you were. Cold is better than humidity and mosquitoes. I think you're right. Yeah, I think so. Sandra or Susan, you inspire me. Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's right. Lord of the Rings country. Brian, can't handle people like who? Am I nosing into a conversation? All right. Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. I have no comment on that subject. Yeah, there's a history there. All right, anyway. In Alberta, Canada, have you ever been to Jasper or Banff? No, and I want to. Those Banff and yeah, I want to. I still have to get there. Question. Oh, wait, where did it go? Where did it go? I just saw a question. Where did it go? The John Muir Trail from Tioga Road. Oh my gosh, the John Muir Trail is magical. Magical. Oh, wow. Vanessa, thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Sandra Gale, thank you for the super chat. And Susan, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, I saw a question I was going to answer and then I lost it. How y'all doing? What are you doing tonight? You cozy, comfy? Have I ever considered the AT? No, I don't like bugs. No. Am I reading a good book at the moment? Oh, yeah, I am. I'm reading Educated. Has anybody read Educated? I love memoirs. Anybody? Have you read Educated? I'm about 20% through it, so don't ruin it for me. I know she goes to college and becomes a doctor. Yeah, Sally OD'd on Rachel. Yeah. I think she OD'd on herself. She's taking a break. Question. Are you reading a good book? Yes, I just answered that. Is it true that YouTube keeps a lot of the super chat money? What is the best way to donate other than Patreon? Yes, YouTube takes like 30%. If you don't want to join Patreon, PayPal is the best way. You can just do paypal.me. I think Carolyn's RV Life. The link is in the video description. So just look. If it's not in this one, you can look in any video and there's a PayPal link. So thank you all so much. Sandra, I love being a patron and recommend it to anyone who really enjoys. It's just so, yeah, it's just nice to have a small community. Uh-huh. Okay. I don't know. I saw questions and now I can't find them. Hi, Angie. Good to see you. I'm sorry I'm not going to get to see you guys this year. I was hoping we would get to hang out, but I'm not going to make it back, it looks like. I'm burnt out on that area. I just wanted something different this year. And I'm getting different, that's for sure. Carol loves the potty mouth. The Canadian trucker. Oh, so I missed it. Was it the Canadian truckers with the flags? Rachel is honest. I agree. Okay, still looking for questions. Question. Hola. Okay, I answered that one. So maybe I've answered all the questions. So I'm going to go back to questions from earlier. Stuart's a patron. Thank you. Yeah, Angie, I know. I would have loved to have been able to hang out with you guys and get to know you guys a little bit better. We ran into each other last year at the dump station. And got to meet her and her husband. And yeah, and we were hoping to be able to hang out this year. But have I ever tried voice to text to answer comments? No. Destino. Hola. I'm so thankful to your videos. Do you know how much you touch people's life in a great way? Can you share some thoughts about it? You know what? That's a great segue. A wonderful, perfect segue, Destino Caravana. into another question I got earlier that I wanted to answer. So Michelle Lazove asked, if I were to do it all over again, would I ever start making videos? So this is an interesting question that I think I've gotten a couple times over the years. And a couple years ago, the answer would have been no. I wouldn't have done it. It was, as you guys know who've been with me a while, I've really struggled with being in the public eye and all that goes with it. Everything, the hate as much as the adoration. It's a lot for someone who is actually very private, believe it or not, and for someone who never sought to be in the public eye. I mean, I've always wanted to do things right, and I wanted to be successful at it, but I never expected to be putting my life out there the way I do. But the answer to that question is, would I do it again? If I were to do it all over again, and I thought about this question all day, if I were to do it all over again, would I make videos? And the answer is yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to get emotional. So to answer your question, do I know how much I touch people's lives? The answer is yes, because you guys tell me. You guys keep me going, man. You guys have helped me through some rough times. Not rough times as an RVer, as a solo female RVer, but the tough times of being someone who shares my life so openly and so publicly. And the moral support, the stories, the emails. I mean, I've gotten letters from people who say, because of you, I've left an abusive spouse. Because of you, I sold my house and downsized, or I live in a van and I'm having the time of my life. I mean, and you guys who've been with me a while have always heard me say this. I've always felt that my personal story, which I have just chipped at the surface of my personal story with you guys, I've always felt that there is something to my personal story that is worth sharing, because I know it can help other women, because I've struggled my whole life with overcoming what happened to me. I've made a lot of poor decisions because of it. I've gotten, just a lot of things. And I always knew that I could share my experience to help other women who might be dealing with some of the things I dealt with. And being able to share just a part of that publicly through my channel, and just to share my trials and tribulations and my challenges and the things I've learned and the mistakes that I've made, and to hear, thank you, it helps me, has been the most rewarding thing I have ever done in my life. This is the most rewarding job I have ever had, and not only is it a job, it's my life. I mean, it's just, yeah. So I love you guys. I would absolutely do it again, because you know what? You guys are what matter. I spent my first 3 years making videos for the haters. It was like, must be liked, must convince everybody I'm a good person. How can they not see I'm a good person? And it's finally just, I don't know, this year I'm just like, fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. The people who matter know who I am. And that's all that matters. So yeah, you know what? I would absolutely do it again, because of you guys. You guys have lifted me up and helped give me the courage to continue sharing despite all the other noise. So yeah, how's that? I give hope. Thank you, Carol. I hope Carolyn does write a book. Texas Lady says, thank you, Richard. I am writing a book, and actually, they're not here right now. I'm starting to even share some excerpts with other writers to get feedback. So the book is written. It's written. I don't know how many words it is. I have to look at that. And I'm on second draft. So the book is written. I have my list of agents that I'm going to pitch to, and I'm working on my query. So this. I have actually always wanted to write a book, and I'm now just finally starting to say, not if I write a book, or not if I get a book deal, but when I get a book deal. I feel like my story is universal in many ways to so many women. So enough about me. Thank you, Ralph. So, hey, you guys want to help me? Okay, you guys are all excited about my book. Here's what you can do to help me. One of the things that's going to help make me more attractive to an agent is my author platform. And while I have a beautiful, wonderful platform here of 134,000 people, what's really going to take it to the bank is my email list. So if you can and you want, go to my website, carolinsrvlife.com, and sign up for my email list. Right now, that email list is to get updated when I post blogs, to get a newsletter that I have just started doing again. But it's also going to be used to give you updates about my book when I go to publish, and maybe even sending excerpts of it and things like that. So if you can help me out doing that, just go to my website, carolinsrvlife.com right now and sign up for the mailing list. The bigger my mailing list shows the publisher that I have a big audience of people who might buy my book, and the better my chances of getting a book deal. So, yay. Thank you. We're all in this together. That's one thing that, and I say this to patrons a lot, and maybe I say it to you guys too, that this channel has really a community, and it's taken a village to keep it going. Thank you. Richard just posted the link. Thank you. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, this job has been this chapter of my life. I've always wanted to do things that matter. I've always wanted to do things that make a difference in people's lives. That's why I went to Big Brothers Big Sisters 15 years ago and said, sign me up. I want to mentor a young lady. That's why I joined the board of directors for Child Haven, a nonprofit organization that helps abused and sexually abused children. I mean, my whole life has been about wanting to, even in college, I volunteered for a suicide hotline. I stuffed envelopes for Big Brothers Big Sisters. So my whole life has been about wanting to help people never feel the way I felt so much of my life, so alone and so ashamed and so lost. And this channel and all of you guys have allowed me a platform to be able to do more of that. So thank you. No, you can't get booted, Carol. Thank you, Doofus, for adding your email. Thank you. Does the email list stay private? Yes. It's just for me. So your information will never be shared. You will never get any emails from anyone but me. Okay? I promise you that. Thank you. That's a good question. Thank you for asking. Add a subscribe. Yeah, we're still working on the website. So yes. JB, thank you for the super chat and saying that I'm a good person and thanking me for all I do. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, we're working on the website. Thank you for that. So yes, when you get to the page, the homepage, scroll all the way down, and that's where you sign up for the newsletter. It's an old WordPress theme, so we're limited. Sandra's excited for my book. Yeah, I'm gonna warn you, it's not G-rated. Let me just say that. It's not gonna be G-rated. My life has taken some rough turns. Let's just say that. All right. How many levels do I have on Patreon? The lowest is 500. The highest is 100. I'm sorry. The lowest is $5 and the highest is 100. So there's a 5, a 7, a 10, I think, a 15, a 25, and 100. So for just 2 cups of coffee or 1 cup of coffee a month, you can be a patron and get extra content that the public never sees. Wow, you guys, thank you. I can't believe it. All the questions about Patreon tonight. Thank you. And wanting to support my channel through PayPal and stuff. 500. Oh, I know. I said 500. Yeah. The minimum to join Patreon is $500. Will my book be on Kindle? Yeah, I hope so. I certainly, and I don't want to self-publish. I'm determined. It's been my dream since I was a little girl to get a book deal. And so, hi, Debbie. Sandra, way to go, Sandra. Sandra says life is not G-rated. No, it isn't, is it? Oh, Ralph. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, there are ways to update. So there are ways to update WordPress. Yeah, it's time and money and energy that I haven't really been feeling that I want to invest in, but except now, just this week I decided. And if you look at my website, I completely updated it this week. So that has been my project this week, updating the website. Richard Thomas wants to know, hi, Richard, my friend in Vermont. After being on the road for 5 years, do I have any regrets about doing this? Is there anything that you wish you could change or wish you had done different? Yes. So that's the one thing. Oh, okay. The email list, hang on one second. The email list is different from Patreon notifications. Okay, I'm sorry. I just got an email, a text that I don't understand. Sorry, I don't understand this text. If you're watching, I don't know what that means. Patreon notifications. Yeah, the email list has nothing to do with Patreon. The email list is to get updates about to get newsletters and stuff. Hey, is Nancy here? Oh, Nancy! Wow. Hi. Thank you for shining your beautiful and compassionate light in this world. Warm hugs. Oh my gosh. One of my biggest moral support. Mwah. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Where was I? Oh, would I do anything different? I would not do anything different as far as my RV life, except I would have taken Matilda to a mechanic before I bought her. It's the only thing I would do different. And I'm going to do a video soon. Actually, I was going to put the video up last night, but then I just was like, you know what? I'm enjoying a relaxing day. I'm not going to rush to put a video up. I would have, at least this last year, I would have traveled differently. I really pushed myself this year, and I don't know why, and I do know why, and I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. Yes, I am. Sorry. Okay, so apparently someone asked a question about Patreon notifications and the email list on the website. So yes, they're different. If you're a patron, you're always going to get if you're subscribed on Patreon and new comment comes out, you will always get notifications from Patreon about that. Or if you're a subscriber to the channel, when you subscribe to the email list on my website, you're going to get notifications when I post a new blog or put out a newsletter or any other updates, like a book is coming, I might do pre-releases and things like that. So I'm also going to start doing more website only content, and that more on that is coming soon. I'm going to start doing more because I'm noticing that I have people on the website who read my blogs, but they don't watch my videos. So let's do some crossover. Some of you might like to read content sometimes. So I will, I'm going to start doing newsletters that'll have extra tips, extra pictures, maybe some recipes once in a while. You guys all want recipes. So there's going to be extra perks for signing up for the newsletter that you're not getting currently on any of my other social media platforms. Richard, your question. Would I do anything different? The only thing I would do different, I wouldn't change, you know what? I wouldn't change YouTube. You know what I probably would change? I don't, maybe I would change not making it my job. I always say though that if it wasn't my full-time job, I wouldn't still be making videos because I just wouldn't. I mean, I barely have the time to make videos now, it's much less if I had another full-time job. I think what I would do differently though, which is hard to do starting a new business, and I don't regret starting this, but I think I would have a better work-life balance. I'm not good at that. And partly just because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner. It's really hard to leave it at the door. What door? That's the thing I would do different. I actually met, I met a viewer the other day. Yeah, in the campground. I wasn't even here a half hour, and a viewer came by and was like, hi. And it's always nice to meet viewers. I love meeting people face to face. It makes this all so much more real. And one of the things that I thought that I envisioned before I started my RV life is I envisioned not having TV at all, not having all this electricity that I have all the time with all the solar. I thought I'd be conserving things a lot more. I thought I'd be outside more. I thought I would just go on random hikes more. I thought, I'd be like, I'll get my exercise by climbing a mountain just because. And I really haven't done that, at least not in a while. So the change I would make is better work-life balance. And I've been sick on and off for a year and a half now. And so that has definitely changed my life as far as my activity levels. I haven't been on a backpacking trip except for the what I do, 12 miles in Colorado 2 summers ago. And that was hard. And yeah, so that's, I guess, and that's a lesson to all of you. Just because you live in an RV doesn't mean your life is going to be perfect. No matter where you go, you take you with you. You take your same challenges, your same issues. It's not going to fix you. And if you're a workaholic, or if you're, and I'm not even going to say I'm a workaholic, I'm just driven. And when you work for yourself, you have to be driven or you're not going to succeed. You're not going to get a paycheck. So, yeah. Ooh, Sam Elliott. Who's talking about Sam Elliott? I love Sam Elliott. I've had a crush on him forever. So, Richard, I did push myself too much this last summer. I'm going to do a video about that pretty soon. But did that answer your question, Richard? All right. Another question. Yeah. Ralph, lots of hiking for me. Yeah. Yeah. I got really, really wrapped up in this. But if I hadn't gotten really wrapped up in this, I wouldn't be as successful at it as I am. I mean, if it had just been a hobby, I don't even know that I would still be doing it. I don't know. It's a tough one. Yeah, Sandra says doing so many videos bound me to more stress. Yeah. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know what my life would have looked like if I had stuck with the marketing consulting, because that was a total flip in my business as well. My business prior to hitting the road was long-term contracts where I'm involved in a business, and I knew that was going to have to change being on the road, and I was going to do more project work, but that was still an unknown. I didn't know. I had 2 or 3 clients still under contract, 2 or 3 when I hit the road. And even when I decided to go into YouTube full time, I think I still had 2 clients under contract, and I got rid of 1 and kept 1, I think, for another year. And so I don't even know once those contracts ran out, if they didn't renew, I didn't know what the next phase of my business was going to be like. I did do some project work, like on Upwork. I was doing like website building and small social media consulting, and I hated it. I hated it because on Upwork and things like that, you know, you're competing against everybody else who can do it for cheap, and that's just not how I did business. I was never cheap. You know, my clients hired me for $3,000, $5,000 a month. So there was a big change around that as well. So I don't know what my working life would have looked like anyway, even if I hadn't done YouTube. Yeah, I feel like I'm babbling now. Okay. All right. All right. Question. Do you have any more troll trouble since you branded your channel? It's not trouble because I don't pay attention. But from what I understand from you guys, it's still going on. But you know what? C'est la vie. Have a ball. If that's what you need to do to get through the day, you know, make fun of me and steal my name, go for it. I'm over it. Question. They were asking about narrators for your audiobook. Sam Elliott? No. Who? You know who I always wanted to play me in a movie? Oh my gosh. What the heck is her name? Hunger Games. Jennifer Lawrence. The first movie I ever saw her in was the Appalachia one, I think, and I was like, she's badass. I want her to play me in the movie. And then Kathy Bates when I'm older. Kathy, yeah. Jennifer Lawrence could play young me, even though I never look like Jennifer Lawrence. But she's badass. Donna, I'm 70-year-old senior orphan now and was an avid camper. Still enjoy you. Been a fan from the get-go. Well, thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. Oh, I have to narrate it. I have been, well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Question. Have you watched 1833? No. No, but somebody told me about it. I think yeah. I'll look for it. All right. Let me see. All right, I'm going to do 10 more minutes. It's 7:17 here, so we'll do 13 more minutes. So whatever questions you have, if I didn't, yes, Winter Bone. Yes. That was such a good movie. Oh, I answered all the questions. Oh, Sandra Morris wants to know, does Sadie have any lab in her? Oh, I wanted to tell you guys this. I don't know what Sadie is. However, I met a guy in Arkansas who fell in love with Sadie. He was like, oh my God, I had a dog just like her. She's awesome. She reminds me of a dog I had, not only in how she looks, but temperament and personality, called, I hate this name, horrible name, but it's a hanging tree cow dog. Hanging tree cow dog. And I looked it up, and a hanging tree cow dog is a mixed, it's a special breed by like one guy somewhere. And it's a cross of 5 dogs. And this is what she is. Oh, a hanging tree cow dog is, oh, hang on. Let me tell you. 3/8 border collie, 1/8 Catahoula, 1/4 Kelpie, and 1/4 Australian Shepherd. And if you look at the website, there are dogs that look exactly like Sadie. So I don't think she's like one of these breeds because they're specially bred to be working cow dogs by this guy. But I think that she probably has many of these, if not all of these breeds: Border Collie, Catahoula, Kelpie, and Australian Shepherd. That's what I think she is. What do you guys think? Okay, I lost you. I lost your chat. Okay. Samuel L. Jackson has to narrate. I love that. Oh my God, that would be so awesome, actually. I can just hear him say, "What the fuck were you thinking, girl?" That would be so funny. Like in the middle of the sentence, "What did you do?" That would be funny. I know, my tea is 2 hours old. We haven't been on for 2 hours, have we? It's quite cold, but it's actually good. Sadie is the best dog ever. I think I would have to agree. You don't see Border Collie? She's got the markings of Border Collie. She's black with the white, with the Border Collie white. I know, Samuel Jackson. That would be awesome. Phil's got a great sense of humor. He always comes up with good stuff. And he's a fellow believer in Bigfoot. So that's a bonus. All right. Maybe you answered when my computer froze. Have you considered a PA system when you have night visitors? No, but that's a very good idea. That's a great idea. Huh. Yeah. But how often do I get midnight visitors? Twice in 6 years? 3 times? That's one. Yeah. Oh, Phil's on a roll. Hanging tree cow dog. Yep. D says, "Oh my God, you're right. I just Googled it." Everybody needs to Google hanging tree cow dog right now, and you will see Sadie. What editing software do you use? I did answer that already. Power Director by Cyberlink. How's the roof doing? Better. And that video will come out on Sunday, so I don't want to give it away. You got to watch the video. Janine, thank you so much. Have I ever seen Bigfoot? Yes. I have. I saw something I didn't know quite what it was, and I'm getting too tired. I'm not going to tell the story now. It's a long story. I just saw something early in the morning at a boondocking spot in Alaska, and I think that there is a video, so just go to my channel and search for Bigfoot, and you'll be able to find the oh my gosh, you're all asking. Okay, fine. I will tell the Bigfoot story, and then we're going to go. All right. I was in Alaska. It was a cool, dark, foggy morning. No, it wasn't. So I was parked. I was on the side of Alaska near Valdez. And I can't remember what the name of that highway is. And it was a boondocking spot on an old airstrip. So it was overgrown, and it was all, concrete, but it was all overgrown. I wasn't the only one out there. There was another one way on the other end. And it was really early in the morning because I didn't sleep very well in Alaska because it was light freaking 24 hours a day. And so it was pretty early in the morning, but I don't know what time because it was light outside. And Capone had to go out. So I think I'd made coffee and I let Capone out. And when I went to call him in, he was over here, and I reached out the door to call him in, and I saw something move off in the distance. And there was like a levee. It was like a built up, now I can't remember. There was like a built up roadway. That's what it was. It was a built up roadway. And something moved, and out of the corner of my eye, I looked over. There was a head to toe black creature, probably about 50 yards away, bipedal. It heard me. It turned its head, but I didn't see it's my connection. Okay, we're back. How much did you guys lose? So, it turned its head, and I saw it reach out its arm. So it was there's this road, there's this levee road going this way. It walked across the levee road, and there was a hill that went straight down. It reached out its arm and grabbed the tree, and it disappeared down the levee. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm literally like, what the fuck? What the hell? What was that? Oh my God. Oh my God. I called Capone in. I freaked out. I called Capone in because I was afraid he would see it and chase it. And I'm like freaking out. And I think I grabbed my camera. I mean, I don't know how long I was inside before I was like, I gotta chase it. I gotta go see what was that. And I did grab my camera, but I think it was a while later. No, I think what I did first is I think I walked over and inspected over to see if I could see anything moving in the woods. And when I couldn't see anything moving in the woods, I was like, I'm going to go explore. I'm going to see if I can find footprints. And then I went back and grabbed my camera, and Capone and I went for a walk way deep into the woods. There was actually a lake down there. There was another rig about a half mile away, parked on the lake, boondocking, and I thought about asking them if they saw Bigfoot, but I was like, they're gonna think I'm nuts. So that was my. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't a bear. Not. It walked all the way. There's no way, no reason a bear would be on 2 feet, and it was black, head to toe black. The only thing I could think was maybe it was a person, because I couldn't tell how tall it was or how big it was. I went over and tried to like gauge by where I thought it grabbed the tree, but I couldn't. The only thing I thought was a lot of people wear snowsuits in Alaska, like head to toe black snowsuits. But it was summer. It was like 80 degrees outside that day. Nobody would have been walking wearing a snowsuit. So I spent days going, why did I see that? I mean, what was that, and why me? Why me of all people? Why would I see that? It's yeah. Oh my god, Booze Cruise. Hi, Booze Cruise. Good to see ya. No way a bear would do that on 2 feet. I'm sorry. I love this. No way a bear. And I don't even know if it was hairy. That's the thing, is like, all I saw was a black figure on 2 legs with an arm outstretched. And it happened so fast that it really didn't even register. I don't know that I saw fur. So maybe it was just a guy in a snowmobile suit at 5 o'clock in the morning when it was 60 degrees out and no snow on the ground in Alaska. I don't know. But someone spiked. I had just woken up, so nobody spiked anything. And I know what's his name? Not Brian, the guy who does all the winter camping videos. What is his name? And winter, he lives in the heated tent, and he's got the wood stove, and he just bought land, and he's got the dog Sierra. He has an interesting Bigfoot story. I saw one of his videos one time where he actually had rocks thrown at him and stuff. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I saw Bigfoot? What do you think? Brian. Yes, Brian. What do you think I saw? It's a gift from the universe. Say hello to Bigfoot. Spooky cool. Yeah, Swamp Thing in Florida. Yeah. Yeah. A hairy naked Rastafarian who got mistaken for Bigfoot in my old stomping grounds. That's what I thought. I thought, it's the bush of Alaska, kind of. I mean, it could have been anything. It really could have been. I mean, maybe it was the person who lives in the RV down the way, but I didn't see a human face when it turned. I didn't see. Yeah. Did I see Bigfoot before or after the rehab stint? I was quite sober. I've been sober from alcohol for 14 years. I lose count. 14 years I've been sober from alcohol. I've been clean for 8, I think. I've been clean for 8. So yeah, I was very, very, very sober. Right, exactly, El Constantino. A bear wouldn't grab a tree limb, and 70 is too warm for snowsuits. I saw Bigfoot. I still wonder, like, why me? I mean, I don't know. I think I saw a Sasquatch. What's the difference? I believe, yeah, same thing, right? I saw a Squatch. It doesn't seem human from your description. Did he answer to the name of Bubba? I didn't call him Bubba. You guys know, like, when something like so unbelievable and unexpected happens, your mind doesn't click into like an investigation mode right away. You're trying to process like all this weird information and you're like, what the fuck, what was that? And it doesn't really hit you. And it was, yeah, it all happened so fast. And honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I think I remember my first concern, my first instinct upon seeing it was getting my dog inside, because, and that's the way I am with all my dogs. I want to see a threat before they do so that I can call them in. I didn't want him chasing whatever it was. So I was also distracted by that, by trying to get Capone in the door. Yeah. Carol, because I'm magic, and that's why they don't show themselves to people who don't believe in magic. Oh, I like that answer. Because why not you? Okay. Our Homestead says, I'm with you, and I totally believe you saw Bigfoot. When you know, you know. Yeah, I saw a local dog that could be Sadie's son. I have been seeing so many dogs that look like Sadie. We were driving down the road the other day, and this guy in a pickup next to me kept looking at her, and she gets that a lot. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. People just stare at her. And he when the light changed and he went, there was a dog in the back of his truck that looked exactly like Sadie, and I was like, oh my god, there's your twin. Oh, the white deer in San Diego. Wow. All right. Have I ever seen a UFO? I've seen some strange things in the sky. One night when I was backpacking in Bucks Wilderness in California, I was alone, and I was just setting up or just finishing dinner or something, and I looked up and I saw a big glow white light. Just, I don't remember where I saw it, but what I remember is seeing it zoom in the opposite direction really, really fast. And it kept going forever, and it went fast. So that's the weirdest light I've ever seen. All right. 7:32. Any last questions? Go. Jim's like, I'm sorry I started this. Go white deer and UFOs. And Harry Bigfoot. Don't forget Harry Bigfoot. All right. Um, Smokey Bear is off for the season. You guys got jokes. You're funny. Where's David? Is he still here? All right. Sue, I've seen orbs. Yeah. Thank you for letting us hang out with you. You really enjoy this. Now I can turn up my heat. I know I'm starting to get cold. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm sorry, Destino, I don't have any good Nomad RV life movies to recommend, other than Nomadland. And when will I do this again? I don't plan these things. This one, I just felt like I kind of owed you after. No, that's not true. That's not fair. I wanted to do this. I wanted to connect with you guys. We haven't connected since Christmas on a personal level like this. And I'm in the mood, I mean, this is me being on for an hour and a half, and with my energy and stuff not being great. So I don't know when I'll do it again, but I'll try to give you notice when I'm going to do it again. I would like to say I'll do it once a month, but that restricts my travels, because I don't want to have a commitment to you guys to be on a live stream and then find an awesome spot that's off grid and want to be off grid for the night. And so that's why I don't plan them. And that's why I don't say, yeah, I'll go live once a month, because you just never know. I like to remain flexible and spontaneous as much as I can. Phil. All right. You're awesome. And again, I got almost a little gushy earlier. I wouldn't be here without you guys. You guys have added so much to my life. So much, what's the word I'm looking for? Purpose and meaning, and have really given me so much. I mean, I've always said I'm a mirror. Whatever you see in me is what's within you, good and bad. If you see a brave, inspiring, uh, whatever person you see that in me, because that's within you, and maybe you just haven't been able to quite tap into it yet, but it's there. It is there. If you see it in me, you've got it within yourself. So thank you, thank you for allowing me to live my dream of sharing my life, sharing my story, inspiring others, and giving my life meaning. I mean, it just, mwah. Thank you. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to go now. And thank you, Susan. Thank you, Jim and Martha and Donna and Uncle Mo. Thank you to our moderators. You rock. Not only do you whack a troll, but you guys have been offering useful information and helping out the other viewers. Mwah, my moderators, I mean, you're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you all soon. Tune in Sunday night for updates on the roof and more travel to come and more stuff, and updates on my memoir will be coming. And yeah, all right. Mwah. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, be happy, be free. Sadie's cold. I wanted to get Sadie. She's cold. All right. See you next time. In the meantime, be happy, be free, be kind, and thank you, moderators. Good night. And thank you, everyone, for the super chat and also supporting my channel. Thank you. I want to stop streaming now. Bye.